Hey, what is up guys? So today we are going to be talking about how this guy got in the top 4 in the YCS, and a lot of people were like, dude, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, he has no skill, he just net decked. A lot of people started opening up the discussion for Yugioh doesn't take any skill, meta plebs, you don't need any skill because you just run, top tier decks, pay to win. Okay, so first off, let's go ahead and go over what happened at YCS Liverpool at the top tables, and talk a little about, does Yugioh take any skill top of YCS? Because again, this was part of the discussion. So first off, I just want to share this clip with you guys real funny because he just straight up walked off after this. And if you guys want to watch the full vid, I'll link it down below, but just watch him just walk out.
Enough options to deal damage after that Utopia.
He just left his cards there. Now, at these events, guys, generally, you do want to make sure you look at your cards because you don't want anyone taking them. But at the top tables where there's people recording, I think it's a little bit more safe. But nonetheless, Konami staff, there's a really funny picture I'll show it to you guys right after. But anyways, now that we've seen him, he just walked away. He was really upset about it, as anyone would be if they lost. Now, let me go and explain what had happened. If you guys want to watch the full vid, again, I'll link it down below. But this is the field right here. So his opponent has multiple Chaos Hunters on board. He needs to basically finish his opponent off, otherwise he's going to lose because Chaos Hunter prevents you from banishing cards, so therefore you couldn't go for your Buster Dragons. So anyways, there was an S39 made. Now the S39 Utopia Prime was on board. Now he had in his hand Book of Eclipse, but he didn't activate this card first, and that's really the problem. That's the reason why he was unable to win. He had this card, and obviously he used this to put everything face down so you can blow up everything. Now, this card changes all face-up monsters on the field to face-down defense position, so that would have included his Utopia card. If you guys don't know what the heck Utopia Prime is, you detach material from it, and you also make it so you only have 10 life points, but you destroy as many special summon monsters as your opponent controls as possible, and then you banish them, and then you burn them for 300 damage for each monster banished. Now, again, unfortunately, he didn't do it at the right time because he needed a Book of Eclipse the monster because he needed to actually gain that additional damage. And also, in addition to that, his opponent had 7,000 life points. He could have won actually by just going for the effect after Book of Eclipsing, getting rid of all of the monsters, and then burning your opponent. And then on top of that, he could have summoned his ABC Dragon. So everyone started criticizing him. It's a really, really simple play. Like I said, if you want to watch the full vid, I'll link it down below. But he just rage quit. He didn't really know what he was doing. A lot of people were like, you don't know what it is to be in those positions where, you have the pressures on and all that stuff. Now, a lot of people started commenting, and this, again, opened up the discussion. A lot of people were talking about the whole, like, oh, you don't have to be good to win in Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So, first off, you can see this person says, this is an example of copying the top recipe without knowing how it functions. And it's not really even that. I want to say anyone that played Yu-Gi-Oh! Can definitely see that play. Now, I don't want to sit here and just defend him the entire time and saying that, like, he just didn't see that play, or if it was, like, a mistake, he already activated the card. And this other guy says, my thoughts exactly. Unfortunately, this is also an example of what the top build can do without the skill or practice the original deck builder put in. He still went far AF. LO, he's probably proper memed now. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of people were making fun of him. There was also, these people also basically explained the same thing I explained. But anyways, the guy had 3 Chaos Hunter, he had Book of Eclipse, and he could have loaded up the ABC monsters if he cleared the Chaos Hunters. He had Eclipse in hand, he summons Utopia without playing Eclipse and can't use the effect, clear the board, and kill. But anyways, so this is how you play like a pro, being obviously pretty cheeky. But anyways, now that we got that out of the way, what's funny is one of the judges picks up the card and is like, hey, what about this? And look at his opponent over here. His opponent was like holding back from laughing. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I actually pulled that off. Now again, a lot of people started, obviously talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Takes no skill, and here's what I want to say. Alright, so I can save that video for another day, but I really just want to talk about, does it take any skill to win a YCS? And I want to say that you don't need any skill to win a YCS. Definitely, and definitely I can back that up with a lot of stuff. So first off, let's talk a little bit about certain things. So this was a while back. This was actually in 2011. Actually, this song is 2 out of 10, so let's go ahead and skip this song. But anyways, this article over here, if you guys want to read the full thing, I'll link it down below. So this was a match between 2 different players, and one of the players summons DD Crow and attacks. And this was a top 4 feature match. And a lot of people were like, wait, why did you summon DD Crow and attack your opponent? Was there a certain amount of like integers that this would have actually made it game later down the line with your deck? And he's like, nah, I just wanted to do it because I could. He's like, I'm a troll player, I just, whatever, just who cares? He didn't even really care, and you could tell that he didn't care at all. He just wanted to summon it. And we're talking about a top 4 feature match. Again, going back to it, it just doesn't prove the point that some people are proving that, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game only about skill. Because there are certain times where you will lose, no matter how good your hand is, your opponent already has game because they can flip up a Bambi's Emptiness and they have a Cyber Dragon Infinity and an ABC Buster Dragon. That's just the nature of certain card games. But I want to more so talk about, does it take any skill to win a YCS? And I want to say that yes, in one sense, but I want to say majority of any card games, you're going to have to deal with RNG. But on top of RNG, with so many players proving that they can top by doing the worst plays, like summon DD Crow and attacking, or heck, we can go over decks that don't really let your opponent play. If you Google like YCS tops of Final Countdown, how many decks top with Final Countdown? You guys can't tell me Final Countdown takes a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge. Yes, there are certain things that you're going to have to know about, like Missing the Timing, Frozen Soul. There's a lot of other cards and interactions that you just have to know how they work. But you can't tell me Final Countdown is very difficult to play. You can teach someone Final Countdown and they can beat a player playing a really high tier deck in a short amount of time because the amount of skill required for certain decks doesn't really exist. And I would go as far as to say is that in an hour, you can teach someone that doesn't really know about anything just to, you know, stall with Final Countdown. It's a very simple deck, and how many times has this deck top? So I want to say this alone, the deck Final Countdown, can really prove my point and a lot of other people's point that they were trying to bring up, saying that you don't need skill at all to top a YCS, you just have to pay to win, essentially. Now, Final Countdown's a pretty cheap deck, and it doesn't really work anymore because it's gotten banned, but later down the line, we're going to have more cards like this probably in the future. So, yeah, like I said, Tyler TABMAN can definitely be an excellent example of, Tyler TABMAN has held more tops with things that weren't Final Countdown, but I just wanted to prove it to you guys that, you know, Final Countdown did win multiple YCSs. And that deck doesn't, like, you don't even interact with your opponent. You literally just go, attack, okay, activate Battle Fader. Attack, okay, so Scarecrow. That's pretty much how the deck runs. Attack, okay, Wabuku. It's literally just setting one card per turn and then just winning off of Final Countdown. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, this was something recent that had happened, and let me just let this first place of the regionals from Fredericksburg's VA, which was actually taken really recently, I just want him to just speak up for 1 second, and you guys can hear what he has to say. If you guys want to watch the deck profile, link it down below, because obviously credit goes to the card guys for this, but just listen to what he has to say.
And then you just make Buster, and then you just start winning, like, undeservedly for no reason.
Yeah, you just make Buster Dragon and you win for no reason. And again, that does back up a lot of the points that a lot of people bring up. Buster Dragon is broken. Okay, it gets banned. New thing comes out. It's broken. It gets banned. It gets limited. Whatever. That happens in Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. And we can even go further back to the Nationals at 2012 for the semifinals. Tyler TABMAN versus JAREL Winston, which was a game where Tyler TABMAN was facing off against JAREL Winston. JAREL actually OTK'd his opponent. He finished his opponent off. And Tyler TABMAN cheated by continuously playing. After he had 0 life points, he continued just to act like nothing happened. And you guys can see in the comment section, again, if you guys want to watch any of the vids that we're talking about, I'll link them down below. Look at the Tyler TABMAN cheater. Does anyone know if this was ever reported? And this was in front of everyone. No one caught it, and he got away with this. And we can go back to another recent event. This was actually in 2016, YCS Prague 2016, a cheating champion. Objective evidential analysis, and the guy summons multiple times. He gets multiple normal summons. He tries it a few times in this YCS, in fact, and you guys can watch the full vid. I actually did a video on this as well. But yeah, I mean, you guys can go down and look at the comment section. To be honest, this player should know exactly what he's doing at this high level. It's known. Roy St. Clair said it himself that every pro player cheats, and I'll leave it at that as far as that goes. But it is definitely known in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, especially in the pro player scene, that all the pro players cheat. And sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes, you know, it just accidentally happens. I even made a video. It almost has 100k views. YCS Champion Cheater Confirmed Video Proof. If you guys want to watch it, it's basically just like GLASGOWS video, because we all just took footage from this. A lot of people covered this. It was a really, really controversial subject. But yeah, you guys can see that YCS essentially Dueling Network. RIP Dueling Network, though. But realistically, I just want to end off on this statement that Yu-Gi-Oh is a game where things will happen. Sometimes it's not intentional for cheating, and sometimes players just do bad moves. Sometimes, you know, when you're watching people play Call of Duty, they'll like completely miss a shot. Like, it'll be the easiest shot, but they miss it. It happens. Whether you're playing League of Legends and, you know, you miss a skill shot that, like, the guy's stunned, you missed a skill shot. And I want to say it's a little bit different in one sense versus comparing a game like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty and League of Legends compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you can't really mess up in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sense where you aim wrong. You can't place a card, like, when you want to place a card in face-up attack position, you can't accidentally place it in face-down defense. Like, that doesn't really happen. I mean, maybe you drop the card, but for the most part, that can't really happen in the game. But I do want to say that it's definitely valid to say you don't need very much skill, or no skill is required to top a YCS. I don't want to say that for me, like, you guys, if you guys didn't know, I've topped and I've won XO at regionals, and I don't even think that I'm that great at this game. And, you know, I mess around a lot, and again, all of the stuff that I just showed you guys can be valid evidence to support a lot of what people are saying, aka the people saying that, like, example of copying the recipe, not knowing how it functions, and like the top builds can do anything without the skill or practice. But anyways, you guys can let me know how you feel about this. Do you guys, let me open up this conversation in the comment section below, and I know it's going to be blowing up. So do you guys think Yu-Gi-Oh takes skill? Because I can make a video on that subject. I've talked about it before, but I just want to say that in this video, I want to say for sure you do not need skill or very much knowledge to top a YCS. It happens all the time. Again, you can back it up with Final Countdown or some of the plays you see from players that have topped that are really terrible plays, but they've won anyway simply because certain decks are just really, really powerful, and regardless of what your opponent has, a deck's too powerful. Like this guy over here mentions, the guy that got first place, he's like, we just make Buster Dragon, you win for no reason. It happens, man. And that's part of the fun with Yu-Gi-Oh! Some people really enjoy losing to the stupidest deck sometime, or like the really dumb play. It happens. That's part of the hype in card games. But anyways, you guys let me know how you feel about Yu-Gi-Oh! Taking skill, or do you think it takes skill to win a YCS? Because you guys have already heard what I have to say about this. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys get a like button, a pity slap. And I'll definitely be making a video about does Yu-Gi-Oh! Take skill? Because I wanted to focus more so on topping a YCS. Does it take skill? But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'm signing out.